Hello all my merry makers, and welcome to String Theory Thursday. Even if you're a returner, this might be a surprise, and if you're new, thanks for checking me out. String Theory Thursday is a segment that I do occasionally, focusing in on less of a step-by-step tutorial and more of a concept on how to make something. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit today because this is for a friend. Miss Sam from Manfa Makes has asked for a tutorial on how to make a simple half double crochet beanie hat. I figured that would be something that everybody might benefit from. So this is going to be a crochet kind of thing. That's kind of a tutorial. So grab your crochet hooks and your yarn and let's get started. So the first thing you need to know is how big to make the hat. This is a sizing chart that I like to use. I find that it's really useful. It does not have preemie sizes on here, but you can just make the smaller newborn. And this is just a nice guide that I like to share. If you'll see, this says circumference, that's, all the way around. And this says height from brim to center of the crown. So this is a hat that I made forever ago, and it needs to be washed, so please forgive the appearance. So when it's talking about that, it's talking from here all the way to the top. This is a hat that I made for my husband, and it is roughly a little over 8 inches tall, which is exactly what it suggests. So, now it's time for a little bit of math. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to assume that Manfa's mom has a 20-inch head, and that's the circumference. So I'm going to be doing a top-down beanie because that's what the one I prefer, where you start with a flat circle. So in order to figure out how many stitches I'm going to end up with, or not how many stitches, how many inches the diameter needs to be, to make this math easy on me, we're going to say 21 inches divided by 3. I'm not going to do 3.14. If you want to do 3.14 on your calculator, that's fine. 7 inches. Now, I hear some of you saying, that's not the diameter if you know pi r squared. That is the radius squared. Trust me, after you do the math, this is going to be as close to the number as it's going to be. Alright. So, the yarn we're using today is Sweet Roll by Premier. I'm going to come back out here. It is a acrylic. It's considered a 4-weight. They recommend a 5.5 millimeter. However, I'm going to be using a 4.5 millimeter for 2 reasons. 1, I believe that's Manfa's favorite size. 2, that's going to result in a little bit of a warmer hat. Okay, so first of all, making a flat circle. Now, some of you may be familiar with this concept already, and you can go about your way now. Or some of you, this might be a brand new concept for you, and I will be more than happy to show you. Now, I am going to use a method to start off that I learned from Bag O' Day Crochet. Instead of doing the magic circle, we are going to chain 2, and then that counts as our first half double crochet. So we're going to put 6 more half double crochets into this stitch right here for a grand total of 7 half double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think she does do the number she needs, so 6 and 7. Alright. So you are going to put 2 half double crochets into each stitch for a grand total of 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yellow, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then you join to the top with a slip stitch. Now, in order to keep track of how many increase stitches you're going to do, so I think of it this way. It's whatever, I'm going to tighten up on my math again here. It's whatever row number you're on minus 1 equals the number of double crochets between increases. That's where you, or sorry, half double crochets. Or it could be double crochets if that's which stitch you prefer. And increases is where you put 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. So for example, that was, so this was our setup round, so this was row 1. So on row 1, if we say minus 1, then the number of half double crochets in between stitch increases is 0. And we're going to continue that, so for 2, it's 1, for 3, it's 2, and so on and so forth. Now I think in order to reach 7 inches across, we're going to either need to do a grand total of 11 or 12 rows. Alright, and then if that information is satisfactory, and that's before we just start doing half double crochets all the way around. And if that's satisfactory enough as far as information goes, you can stop there. However, I'm going to actually also show you a little trick called staggering my increases. So I'm going to come right back out here. So there's only one half double crochet in between each increase, so you can't help but put 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. And if you see shadows, my husband is desperately trying to make his bunny ears that he loves to do. Oh, come off it. So, as you can see, for this second row, I'm alternating between one half double crochet and then 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. And so this is a repeat of 3 stitches, and I started with 7, so at the end of this row I'm going to have 21 stitches. Alright, so that's 2, and this is 1. And I'm pausing every so often just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing the next stitch. And I'm trying to get to row 3 so I can show you what I'm talking about when I'm talking about staggering your increases. Now, you can choose not to stagger your increases. You will still end up with something that is circular-ish in shape. But for those of us who are a little bit more particular, this will provide more of a true round shape. Alright. So there you go. Alright, so now we're on to row 3. And the way I do this is for the number of half double crochets in between each stitch, whenever I have an even number, I divide that by 2 to figure out how many half double crochets I should start off with. So the answer for this row is 1. So I start with 1 half double crochet, then I do my increase, and then I start with then I do 2 half double crochets. And whenever I have an odd number, I start with the increase at the first stitch. So like, here's my increase, here's my 2 half double crochets, I'm ready for another increase. And I'm using a lighter color yarn that's not as crazy as Miss Sam's, just in case other people are watching and want to see the stitches a little bit better, because as she said in her video, the stitch definition for her yarn is not easily seen. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead to the end of row 3 because we're already at 14 minutes. Alright, so here we are at the very end of row 3. I just did an increase, and I'm going to end with a half double crochet, and then that will make it to where there are 2 half double crochets between each increase on that row. And then for row 4, I'm going to start off with the increase. So you can see how it's a little bit offset from the other increase. Now for row 4, there's 3 half double crochets between each increase. So one, two, 3, increase, 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. And you're going to do that all the way around. I wanted to show you my trick for staggering one more time when the number of half double crochets in between increases was going to be even again. So we're on row 5. The number of half double crochets in between each increase is going to be 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets first. Then I'm going to do my increase. And then I'm going to do 4 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Now, if the staggering thing is too much, again, just remember that in order to make a flat circle, it's whatever the number of half double crochets in between each increase is equal to whatever row number you're on minus 1. Alright, I'll see you when I've got a 7-inch diameter circle. Okay, so here we are at really close to 7 inches. And this was row 9 for me. I know because I was doing 8 half double crochets in between each increase. But because it is curling a little bit, and because my tension's so tight, I am going, and because I hate ending on an odd number, I am going to do one more increase row before I just do half double crochets. So yours might be different. That's why we measure. Especially if you like a looser hat, once you get to, or if she likes a looser hat, Sam, once you get to 7 inches, you might want to just do one more row just for a little bit of wiggle room before you start doing half double crochets all the way around. There we go. Alright, so I've done a couple of rows of just half double crochets around, and you can see that it's probably going to fit me pretty well, even though I have a bigger sized head. So I'm gonna, and I do like a tighter hat, so I'm gonna continue going half double crochets all around. Alright, So I'm just coming on here to show you my measurements. So this stitch marker I put on there to indicate where we stopped increasing and where we just started putting a single half double crochet into each row. So you can see, even though it was 7 inches in diameter, I still added on quite a bit. And right now where we are basically at 8 inches exactly for this hat. So, alright, so I'm still attached to the ball of yarn over here. So, but just to show you, this is what 8 inches looks like. So you can see, left is right, right is left. It doesn't quite cover my ears, but most people don't like their ears all the way covered. I am weird. I like my ears all the way covered. This hat is not for me. This was just for the tutorial. So, debating between adding a couple more rows or just calling it here. I don't like that there is just a single line of blue here at the front, because I would put the, well, I can't tell people how to wear their hats, but there you go. That hat is basically done, and as Manfred likes to say, done and dusted. So there you go. That's how, in a nutshell, you make a beanie out of just half double crochets. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Share me with your friends. And in the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.